All right, hello, and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and I want to start by pointing out that a solo Bitcoin miner with only 270 terahashes just won a block reward. So they get 6.25 Bitcoin valued at 118k. So they beat once in a lifetime odds. So this is the equivalent of winning the mining lottery for Bitcoin. So congratulations to them. Over in El Salvador, they have adopted Bitcoin as legal tender exactly a year ago as of yesterday. So that's really good to see. And I'm noticing somewhere trending earlier here, El Salvador's Bitcoin revolution didn't plan out as expected. The mainstream media are doing the best they can to trash talk this and play it down. But actually what they've done is take huge steps towards their own sovereignty and dissolving the control that the IMF had over them. The IMF has been begging them to come off of the Bitcoin standard for the entire year. And El Salvador, I'm sure, will continue to fight and continue to succeed, particularly as we enter a new bull market, which, by the way, I believe is only about 60 to 70 days away. So we'll get to that in a bit. Ripple confirms CBDC, central bank digital currency. This is a typo. I thought this was throwing my eyes off. It's supposed to read central bank digital currency. Announcements are coming soon. So anyway, down here, Justin, Ripple's senior advisor says there'll be a CBDC announcement in the coming weeks. And if I can stop clicking things that I'm not supposed to click, you can see here that Ripple's had several pilots in progress for CBDCs. So I would imagine that they're going to tell us that some of these are about to go live. Of course, this is coming off the back of the FedNow announcement last week or early this week, where the FedNow is going to be going live between May and July. So whilst this is all seemingly building steam, here it is again, Ripple senior advisor says that there will be a CBDC announcement in the coming weeks. So whilst this is all building steam, I wanted to take this opportunity to play you a couple of clips and make sure that we're all up to speed on exactly what this means.
So now you've got this CBDC that requires ID. So what's the big problem, Majid? What's wrong with that? Think about it. Every single transaction in your life that you will ever do and ever have done will be logged and registered on an open ledger, because that's what the blockchain is. Now, Bitcoin avoids this because you don't need your name on your Bitcoin wallet. So it will be a number on the blockchain ledger. Yes, you can be traced by some clever detective work. That's fine. That's like cash. But what CBDCs are is your national identity tied to a digital currency that will log every single one of your transactions forever. Because once it's on the blockchain, you can't erase it. And that gives you absolutely no anonymity. And the second concern is control, because this currency can be programmed. And when it's programmed, it means that it can be set by government and it can determine what you purchase and what you sell and what you buy. And so if you go back to Canada and what happened with the truckers' protests, of course, there the problem is if you're a persona non grata, if you support a cause, if you support some form of magazine or platform that is thinking outside of the box, you're on a list, you can be penalized, and of course, it's an incredible problem. So these are the problems that this currency presents. Now, it's going to come anyway. Nothing much we can do to stop it. So I'm going to conclude by saying, how do we make sure that our rights are guaranteed, even though this phenomenon is on the horizon and is coming at us anyway? And the answer there is we've got to make sure that we protect the off-ramp. Whatever that off-ramp is in the form of a decentralized digital currency that allows for you to trade without being traced and tracked and without being controlled, we've got to make sure that that currency, that off-ramp, that decentralized version is protected. And it's no coincidence, and my last point, that countries around the world, led by China, but others as well followed them, are banning Bitcoin exchanges. So our responsibility becomes to protect the off-ramp so that there's a choice, so that you're not permanently involved in what is total slavery or serfdom.
So there you have it. I would like to add 2 points, and that is one, negative interest rates of up to 20% will also be attached to these central bank digital currencies. So that means you have to pay the bank 20% of your balance a year just to keep your money in it. So why is this true? Why might they do this? Well, because this disincentivizes saving, or said another way, it incentivizes spending and consuming. If you're going to end up having to pay 20% of your bank balance to the bank every year, then you might as well go out and spend it, right? You might as well go out and consume. And if that doesn't work, then they'll go to expiry dates. That means you better spend your money, you better spend your CBDC before their date that they give you, or they'll just take it from you. And if you doubt any of this, which I suspect some of you might, I have, first of all, got a clip that says here, I'll just play you 10 seconds of this minute. You can go and watch this in your own time if you want to. I'm going to play you 10 or 15 seconds. If you want to impose negative interest rates and directly tax customer accounts, you can do that with the CBDC.
It is. And, you know, they say, well, what about China? China's doing it. Well, I can see why China would do it. If they want to monitor every one of your transactions, you could do that with the central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. If you want to impose negative interest rates, you could do that with the central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. And if you want to directly tax customer accounts, you could do that with the central bank digital currency.
So not convinced? Maybe not. Maybe that's just a guy. China's new digital currency comes with an expiry date for better and worse. Okay, so again, go and read this, go and study this in your own time. Don't take my word for it. But they are actually attaching expiry dates. So if you don't spend it before this 2-week or 4-week period, then they're going to just take it from you. And if you're still not convinced, here I have a paper, and you can see this here from the Bank of Canada, titled Best Before, Expiring Central Bank Digital Currency and Loss Recovery. And then when you scroll down to the abstract on page 3, what you'll see is this little bit. Many central banks are exploring issuing digital cash substitutes with similar online payment functionality. Such substitutes could incorporate novel features, making them more desirable than physical cash. I'll just pause here to point out, more desirable than physical cash to the central bankers, not more desirable to the people, more desirable to central banks. This paper considers introducing an expiry date for online digital currency balances to automate personal loss recovery. We show that this functionality could substantially increase consumer demand for digital cash, with the time to expiration playing an important role. So here you see, they're trying to create artificial demand by forcing you to go out and spend and consume. Okay, so CBDCs are a terrible, terrible thing. And this is why the Human Rights Foundation is donating $325,000 to Bitcoin to fund Bitcoin development. Okay, and if you're one of these people that at this point is sitting there thinking, yeah, but Bitcoin doesn't work, it's not anonymous enough, let me just show you that Bitcoin is being developed and it continues to be developed. And in addition to being funded as part of a human right, because it is your human right to have some anonymity in your transactions, it is your human right to not have to be forced to spend your money in a couple of weeks or 4 weeks. And it should be your human right to not have to pay a central bank that only inflates you into poverty over time and taxes you. You should not have to pay them 20% for the privilege of keeping your money in the bank, especially when you can self-custody this by using Bitcoin on a cold wallet. And so if you're still doubting, oh, well, Bitcoin doesn't have the level of anonymity, it doesn't work as currency. Well, of course, the Lightning Network proves it works as currency. And now we're starting to see updates like Trezor and Wasabi are going to implement a coin join mixing scheme into their hardware wallets. This will mean that many coins are joined together and jumbled around before being put back in different wallets. And it makes it incredibly hard to trace. Not impossible, nothing's impossible. But if you think about it now, if you're using your standard bank account and debit and credit cards and a little bit of cash here and there and you're walking around with your phone in your pocket, I mean, if the government want you, they'll come and get you, right? No one's really safe. Very, very few people are educated to the level of Edward Snowden where they can successfully hide from the government. So anyway, that's the rant over. Bitcoin is freedom. Bitcoin is our only hope. Bitcoin is the chance to exit the system. T-Analyst is calling for Bitcoin to go into a 2-year bull run, starting now, essentially. Now, I think we've got a little over 60, 70 days left before we can find our cycle low and go. So I think it actually will form faster than this is showing. But essentially, if we were to repeat this fractal from 2014 to 2017, then it would look something like this. That looks like 500,000 up there. So that would be cool. I'm not going to get this far ahead of ourselves. I first want to focus on actually forming a bottom and making sure the bottom looks as I expect it to. So I'll get to that in just a moment. T-Analyst has also shown that we've had one of these bottom signals where we flip into negative and then recover positive and start an uptrend, flip into negative, recover positive and start an uptrend. And now we are attempting to come in and flip back to positive again towards the end of this year. So all of these things are pointing to a big bull run coming soon. Meanwhile, the perfect storm is set. Doom and gloom is absolutely paramount at the moment. Will this be the first time everyone saw a crisis coming? No one ever sees these crises coming. They never have in history. But right now, everyone's pretty sure that they can see what's coming and that it is a big crisis. So the path of most pain would be higher. I've been saying this over and over again. The dumb money confidence retail is at all-time lows. Meanwhile, the smart money confidence is at all-time highs. Okay, maybe they know something, maybe they don't. We'll soon find out when we get this CPI print on Tuesday. Meanwhile, in Southern California, their energy charts are starting to look dangerously like Germany's and France and Italy. So it's not just Europe that's suffering. We're starting to see this in California now as well. And I want to just play you a couple of things where this reset, like, not only is it severely bad and detrimental and enslavement of the population, essentially, but they're doing this now and they're just openly mocking us. Let me play you this 25-second clip.
And this is what is expensive, because in these peak demands, the expensive gas comes into the market. So what we have to do is flatten the curve.
Where have we heard that before?
And avoid the peak demands. We will propose a mandatory target for reducing electricity use at peak hours.
More mandatory stuff.
And we will work very closely with the member states to achieve this.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're just mocking us. And if you think that's bad, then let me show you. I don't watch TV in the UK, and this is basically the exact reason I don't watch TV. But somebody put me onto this, and I have not stopped laughing about it since. Look at how severe the mocking is on mainstream UK television.
We'll pay your energy bills. Got £1,000 as well. So this is energy bills, I think, for 4 months if it stops on that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm being serious. This is one of the most popular morning shows on one of the most popular channels, and they're literally telling you they're going to pay. That's the price. They're going to pay your energy bills for the rest of the year.
How are your energy bills? Are you a bit worried about it all?
Major.
Yeah.
Are you?
I've got one of these prepayment meters, and it's absolutely murder.
Oh, God.
Right, well, let's hope it lands on one of those then.
Whatever, you're going to win some money, so don't worry. Here we go.
One way or t'other. Here we go. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Da, 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 da. £1,000 or energy bill. £1,000 or energy bill. It is going to be... It's your energy bill!
Oh my God, thank you.
We're paying your energy bill for 4 months.
Oh, fantastic.
No worries.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you very much.
Oh, what a relief. Oh my goodness. I mean, the mockery is, I'm nearly speechless. I'm as good as speechless. Anyway, let's keep going. So we got the dollar. Isn't this coming off? I've been saying this over and over again. You basically know what I'm going to say if you've been watching the channel. I expect this to roll over if we get a low CPI print, and if CPI and inflation's out of control, then this is going to get bid and all risk assets are going to tank. So we're seeing a little bit of bounce, a little bit of strength from the equities. This trend line, a trend line break of this, if we were super bullish, would be a long from me, but I kind of expect a little bit of a bounce, a rejection, maybe a lower low into this daily cycle low timing band, and then that becomes the low. Certainly not going to be jumping in towards the end of this week. I want to see that CPI print first, but there's going to be, if we're going to start an uptrend, if the lows are in and we are going to start an uptrend on a low CPI print, then the target's so high up, I'm going to be looking for somewhere up here, 5,000 to 5,200 for the S&P. So I think we're going to get a really max pain, super hated rally come out of here if we're going to get bullish, and if not, then there's loads of downside, 50-odd%. So there's no reason to be rushing in here. I can just continue to play patient, and I will continue to do that. Same is true of the Nasdaq. Got nice clean levels to trade off of, but I really want to make sure that we do see the CPI print first. The VIX is refusing to spike. I think this is slowly going to grind down, and then maybe we can entertain some more trades. Again, we need to see that CPI print. Oil, look at this, breaking down, right? Breaking down. So again, we need to see that CPI print, but this is kind of indicative. This is telling us, isn't it? This is hinting, that's the right word. This is hinting that CPI is going to be low. The oil market is not pricing in higher inflation. The oil market is pricing in lower inflation. And it has been really, you can make the argument it's been doing that since June. So this is quite interesting. This fits my thesis that the lows are already in. Of course, I'm open to being wrong. Gold is starting to look a lot like we have formed a daily cycle low down here. So it definitely took longer than expected. Day 30, so that's a bit of a long cycle. I would think if we can get above this, then my thesis for gold and the bull market is about to happen is still on. So, but again, we need to see the CPI print. Silver, if it can recover this, then I think we're in. But again, I'm not going to mess around too much with this, and we've still got this position. We avoided the stop here, so continue to push and see how that plays out. Bitcoin is coming into that cycle low, isn't it? We're only a few days out now. I'm noticing this perfect 60-day low would be on the 11th, and that's only 2 days before the CPI print. Of course, we've got a breakout trigger here as well. So I think just a tiny bit more patience and we can get ready to go. Now, earlier in the video, I did say that I think we're only about 60 days out from finding the real low, from finding the bottom of the bottom of the bear market. And I will show you exactly what that looks like. We'll probably form a low here. It's day 60. 60 days out will bring us to around the 10th or the 11th of November. And I think that's when, I'll even mark this for you just so we can do this ahead of time. Make sure I can come back and point at this later date. I think that what we're going to see is a bounce out of here. Who knows what the price will do. Then a drop into this cycle low here. Now, it doesn't have to take out the lows from back here. It could, but it could also be like a bullish breakout here, then a drop down into that cycle low and then go. So it doesn't have to make new lows. But I think the point is we're going to get one of these drops into this, then a bounce, then a drop into this, and this is going to become the bottom of the bear market. That's what I think. Now, again, I don't know. I'm not predicting price. I'm just predicting the time. But this would be a perfect 4-year cycle low, ready for us to start a new uptrend. So it'll be interesting to see what happens coming out of here. The new trade is, of course, trading out of this 60-day cycle low. That's going to be in focus first. So we'll see if we can get a better result than we did last time. And I will be looking to take the Ethereum trade. Ethereum showing a lot of relative strength, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a little drop down in the coming couple of days. And that's where I'll be looking to take my long from. And we do need to see the yields come off on a low CPI print rather than run. So again, it all comes down to Tuesday. Not much to do until then, but a little bit of patience will surely be rewarded. If you found value here today, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're not already, and until next time, I'm your boy Camel. Take care. Cheers. Bye.